J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark canceled? Well, let's take a look at some possible good news. So, once again, here we are at Cosmic Book News, who summarizes the whole ordeal very nicely, because this is actually via an article from the Hollywood Reporter, so he clips it here. In April 2020, Duster was one of the 3 bad robot projects announced for the yet-to-launch HBO Max, along with the shining offshoot Overlook and a Justice League Dark project. The latter 2 have since been scrapped. So there you go. That's the news there for Justice League Dark. It continues that Bad Robot has shopped Overlook to other possible buyers, as has Abrams' long-developing sci-fi series Demimonde, which was for the HBO parent channel, after concerns over its projected $200 million plus budget. Yeah. So apparently they're shopping that to some other, sugar daddy, I guess? Gee, I wonder how great this idea is. Do you want to put up that kind of scratch? So that's the deal. These are supposed to be HBO Max projects, but none of them are happening there. I guess they are shopping this Shining spinoff, which I would just bail on that if I was anybody. So it looks like Duster is the only thing surviving out of all of this. But the interesting thing here for DC fans is Justice League Dark, which, of course, Matt McCloy goes on here about, with James Gunn and Peter Safran coming in, things like that you could expect to go by the wayside, especially for something as complicated as a Justice League Dark, which would comprise all these other characters and whatnot. If it was like the Batman cartoon, which they shopped elsewhere, that's one thing. It's one character and all that. So, of course, then there's this little tidbit, which I just, for whatever reason, didn't get around to, because there was this rumor that all of a sudden, Keanu Reeves' Constantine 2 was canceled. Warner Brothers Discovery jumped in. No, it's not. It's still in development. So, somebody heard wrong, I guess. But the interesting thing on that is, will Keanu Reeves be the main John Constantine for the DCU? And I don't really know that. Or would it just be that his Constantine sequel would be considered part of the Elseworlds line of movies, like Joker and the Batman? So they could do that. And whatever Justice League Dark they'll get to down the road, perhaps coming out of the Swamp Thing film that apparently they're chasing James Mangold to direct. And who knows, whatever timeline that is for when that movie debuts, could be a while, because the only one we know that's coming is Superman for 2025. So it could be 26 before there's a Swamp Thing film. Who knows? And by then, again, Constantine 2, when does that come out? And would they just simply have Keanu Reeves do a cameo in the Swamp Thing movie? Because that's where Constantine came from. So it could be. And then down the road, they'll get their Justice League Dark. Or there is no Constantine in Swamp Thing, at least not yet. And Keanu Reeves does his Constantine 2, and they're good. It's in its own universe and the Elseworlds, and then they introduce a new Constantine down the road for Justice League Dark at some point. I'm wondering if Justice League Dark, they would push for it to be a series rather than a film, or if they have this ongoing, because that's what James Gunn said. He's got an overall narrative for the whole thing. And apparently the Lanterns series rather, touches on that somewhat, or there's certain hints and clues as what the ultimate story would be. I don't know, a crisis or a dark side or both, what have you, and that sort of thing. And perhaps a Justice League Dark would be a part of that all the different creepy, weird movies, the supernatural and stuff like that. Swamp Thing, Constantine. Maybe Zatanna gets her own film, or the Spectre or somebody like that, or Dr. Fate, and they move closer into that, and they come together in that sort of thing, mirroring the actual Justice League, which would feature the the superheroes and whatnot. And then they all come together for a big battle royal in a crisis of some sort. So the Black Superman movie is supposed to still a thing, but that would be an Elseworlds story as well. But since they seem to be hurting for cash, I think they are. The people say, no, they have plenty. Some of these decisions don't make sense otherwise. Highly likely this isn't happening either. I think the DC business, as far as Abrams goes, is done. The only thing would be the Batman cartoon, unless you still want to count Matt Reeves as his buddy. But I don't know that Abrams or Bad Robot has anything to do with that officially. Not even an executive producer check. So anyway, Duster, which at least that's not like a reboot or some other established property they can ruin. So it's kind of its own thing. And look, Sawyer's back. He was one that I thought had some serious potential coming out of Lost, but he went nowhere. He had a show, that sci-fi show with Colony or whatever. I tried to get into it, and I don't know, and forgot. But he'll be in this with this lady. Supposedly is based on a true story. FBI, first black female FBI agent in 1972 heads to the Southwest and recruits a gutsy getaway driver. Is this based on a true story? I don't know. Or are they just making it up? Well, whatever. Bad Robot desperately needs a hit, and if they can get one out of an original story, well, that would be all for the better for them and all that. And hopefully Josh Holloway has a new hit series, There was rumors about him being in a Rockford Files reboot towards the end of Lost. And I gotta say, I think that would have been a good thing, Not crazy about reboots anymore now because they've all been so bad. But I could see him doing that character, But, oh well. Anyway, so Duster's coming, but everything else, not so much. But best of all, Justice League Dark. I really... and some of the ideas they were tossing around from Bad Robot, I thought those were terrible. Not that Keanu Reeves is Constantine, but his Constantine for what it was, I liked it, but I don't know if that means that he's their DCU Constantine, and that would require a commitment from Keanu Reeves a lot longer and more than maybe he would be willing. He's always wanted to follow up that movie, so he's got to do that. But beyond that, I don't know, unless he's looking towards the end of his John Wick franchise and wants to move into another one, then maybe that would be the deal. But for the next 10 years, that's the goal of this endeavor. But, I have to wait and see. But more than likely, I would think that his Constantine would just be its own thing, an Elseworlds project. And they would just say, well, let's see what these do, and they'll keep following up with those with other characters and whatnot. And then maybe even have him do a cameo with their other Constantine because of multiverse shenanigans and stuff, and stuff like that. But anyway, overall, at least because Bad Robot has just been really poisoned for a lot of franchises and whatnot, and so on that aspect, this is good news. So at least according to the Hollywood Reporter, they're saying Justice League Dark has been scrapped as far as Bad Robot's version of it. So anyway, there we go. Maybe we have a better chance for Justice League Dark sometime in the future.
Shh, 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 shh. Bad reboot.